Alrighty, welcome everybody to Econ Chat's videos designed to let you be a little bit more successful in class and on the milestone, but hopefully, maybe, possibly, even in life. And welcome to Econ Chats number 9, where I'm going to promise you this is probably going to be the quickest one yet, and I know that's a relief for many of you. But the main reason why it's not going to take very long is because we're really only going to cover one standard. But it's still a pretty important standard, and it will fit into everything else. So let's go ahead and show that to you. So this is SSEMA 2. You'll remember we're still in the macroeconomics unit here. SSEMA 1 dealt with certain indicators. How is the economy doing, basically? We want to look at things like GDP and inflation and aggregate supply and demand and unemployment, the different types of unemployment. And basically, we just want to get an idea of how is the economy doing. Well, number 2 picks up from that. It says, okay, we know how the economy's doing. Now what? How can we, either keep that economy afloat, making sure that we're still getting that type of positive economic growth, or how can we maybe get us out of this funk that we seem to be in terms of the economy? And so the big, one of the two big components that makes a change here is the Federal Reserve. And so the Federal Reserve system comes into play with these second set of macroeconomic standards. You're going to see it says explain the role and functions of the Federal Reserve System. But what we're going to be talking about today is just A, which may not seem like it has anything to do with the Federal Reserve System, but it really does. A tells you to explain the roles and functions of money as a medium of exchange, store of value, and a unit of account / standard of value. So those three terms, medium of exchange, standard of value, and store of value, are basically what you're going to need to have to understand what they are in regards to money. And so first thing I want to show you is some cold hard cash. I'm sure you've seen this before. And it's really kind of funny when we look at a bill like this. First of all, we talk about, why is the Federal Reserve having anything to do with this? Well, one thing a lot of people don't realize, you might be able to see it here, is that your money is called a Federal Reserve note. Ooh, why is that? Well, you'll learn that later on. But there is an actual name to this. And again, it is the Federal Reserve note. You'll notice it has little types of serial numbers and all other different types of thing on it. But before you get into all that, just kind of take a moment to just think about this. So think about money, how kind of crazy thing it is. And that basically what we have here is just this kind of paper, denim, cotton blend. They mash it all together, they pulp it all together, they dry it out, they cut it, and they turn it into these kind of little sheets like this. They dye it, they put pictures of people and pictures of buildings or symbols or whatever on it. But in all honesty, this on and of itself really has no value. There's nothing to it. It's not like it's a gold coin, so to speak, or really anything that you can do with it. I mean, you can't eat it. Well, I mean, I guess you could, but it wouldn't really, help you very much. It doesn't really do anything. I mean, I guess you could burn it to stay warm for about 22 seconds, but there's just not a whole lot that you can do with it. But yet this money, which seemingly means nothing, really means a whole lot. And people are willing to do all sorts of crazy things for this money. People go to school for most of their lives in order to maybe get themselves into a job so that they can earn more of this. People, will spend 100 hours a week at that job to earn more and more of this. They'll stay away from their family. They'll stay away from their friends. People rob other people for it. People beat people up for this thing. And then, people even sometimes make videos and bore high school kids. Although that's not really for money, but all right, so anyway, the crazy thing is about this money stuff is that it does something. It does. First thing is that you need to understand that this money is something that we call fiat money. Our money is what's called fiat money. That's F-I-A-T, and it doesn't really have any sort of value to it. That's why we call it fiat. It's printed up ostensibly by the government, and it has value because we kind of say it has value. We all kind of agree that this means $1, and for that we can get whatever $1 can get. And it's a system that works. Even though the money itself isn't valuable, we give it that value, and that's where fiat money comes in. But let's go into those three terms. The first one was medium of exchange. Well, all that means is that I can take this dollar and I can exchange it for something I want. Medium of exchange means that as a property, as a role, this money is able to be exchanged for something that people want. And so I can take this and go get myself a delicious grape soda, and I can exchange this piece of cotton paper mash and turn it into a grape soda. I exchange it for what I want. That's what medium of exchange means. The other one means standard of value. So standard of value, you have to consider what would have been like before we had money, or even if we didn't have money. Well, we'd be trading things, we'd be bartering things, much like we did in our earlier civilizations. And the thing is, we trade things like, let me get one of your chickens for one of my pigs, or I can give you 3 eggs for 2 cups of milk, or whatever. But it's all a bartering trading system. Well, that can get kind of confusing. I mean, after all, how many eggs really do equal milk, and how many chickens actually do equal a pig? See, it's going to depend. One person may value that pig very, very highly, and they're going to want more chickens for that pig than this person does. Well, the thing is that if we have standard of value in money, this is the same standard for everybody. You tell somebody that that delicious grape soda costs $1. Okay, that's something I can understand. I can give you $1. We can make that work. The standard of value, it's the same use. This means the same to everybody. $1 is $1 is $1, and that's what it's going to spend. The last one, of course, is store of value. And the thing about store of value is that we're looking at, I take this dollar, and if I go in here into my backyard and I put this into a hole, cover it up, and then come back to it in a year or two, well, guess what? It's still going to be worth $1. If I come back to it in 10 years, guess what? It's still going to be worth $1. And try doing that with a chicken, or try doing that with milk. Probably wouldn't want to, but the whole idea is that this is something that will keep its value over time. Now, where sometimes students get confused is, what about inflation? Won't that mean that it won't buy as much? You're absolutely right. It won't buy as much, but it's still $1. This dollar in 1952 could have bought 4 gallons of gas, probably even more than that. Now this dollar gets you a third of a gas, but it's still $1. And so the 3 roles of money. Medium of exchange lets me get what I want. I can exchange this for something else. The standard of value, everybody has the same standard. We're not alternating different goods and services. We have the same thing. And then store of value, it keeps its value over time. So the 3 properties of money, pretty crazy stuff. The Federal Reserve note, as we like to call it. And I guess you'll have to learn a little bit later on. What does the Federal Reserve do? So that's it. Keep up the good work. I told you we'd get it done. It's going to be here under about 8.5, 9 minutes. So take care of yourselves. Money, get back.